As most of you know, Elkhart City Police Department received a 911 call at approximately 10:07 p.m. Actually, this incident happened or began several minutes before that. I had the ability to watch some of the video footage in the Martin supermarket. They have several video cameras in the store. Not everything was shown, but a lot of it was. I had the opportunity to review that. We can tell you that the suspect, who is deceased, Sean Walter Bear, entered the store at approximately 9:30 p.m. Mr. Bear is a known individual of that store. He lives in that community. He doesn't live far away. He often walks around in that community, so he wasn't a person that wasn't known to the employees in that store. They never had a problem with Mr. Bear in the store before. He had been in there for approximately, or he was in there for approximately 30 minutes, walking around the store, not necessarily looking to buy anything, but kind of walking around. He was being watched by one of the security guards that was in there for the simple fact that he knew him, and it was a little suspicious that he wasn't buying anything, and there weren't that many people in the store at that time of night. So he watched him. There was nothing going on other than he was making a few text messages or what appeared to be, or some phone calls over that time frame. At approximately 10:05 p.m., things started to change. When Mr. Bear entered the store, he had a coat on, a heavy overcoat, and we believe at that time, approximately 10:05, that he killed the first person in the store. We don't have an exact time at this point because the video footage showed some things and didn't show some other things. The first person that Mr. Bear killed was a female employee of Martin's, 20 years old, and had worked at Martin's just for a short period of time. At the time, she was working as a stocker, stocking groceries in the grocery store. Mr. Bear shot the female subject, and we believe in the next minute or so, then walked around in another aisle and saw another Martin's employee, made some verbal exchanges with that Martin's employee. She ran, thankfully. He fired at her and missed, and she was able to escape out of the store. Mr. Bear then turned, and if you know the geographic location of the store, with the store facing south, he would have been on the west end of the store. He then turned and went towards the north end of the store and headed towards the east. Mr. Bear went several aisles down the store. It was kind of that, from what we could tell with the video footage, there were approximately 12 to 15 people, including the shooter and the victims, that were in the store at that time, so it wasn't heavily populated, thankfully. People at first kind of acted like they didn't know what was going on, and then within a matter of a few seconds had an idea that something was wrong, and you started to see people exit the store in a rapid pace. Mr. Bear walked to the west end of the store, and that's when he saw his next victim, which is a 44-year-old white female. He shot her multiple times, and as he approached her, and she was at the end of what would have been the south end of the store, towards the checkout area. As he turned the corner, he was confronted with the manager of Martin's, so the manager that night. From the video footage, the manager was one of the last people that was left in the store. It looked pretty apparent to me that he was trying to figure out what was going on. He didn't have any idea. Unfortunately for him, as he walked down the aisle, the shooter turned the corner and pointed the gun right at him, and they came face to face. Over the next 2 minutes, which would have been approximately 10:08 to about 10:10, Mr. Bear held the manager of the store hostage. He asked him to go to his knees. You could see the manager there in a praying position. It appeared to be, we couldn't hear the audio footage, but you could just see the position that he was in. You could see the shooter waving the gun around, pointing the gun at him, and what appeared to be taunting him at times. Thankfully, for the quick response of the Elkhart City Police Department, and we kind of jumped back a little bit, the initial 911 phone call went out about 10:07 p.m. Elkhart City was in the area on an unrelated call, so they had a very quick response and were there between 2 and 3 minutes to the store. So they received the phone call about 10:07, which is just about the same time that he would have shot the second female. As they approached, the two officers approached the store and walk in through the front door. at an angle, they can see where the suspect is at, and the suspect is able to pick up through his peripheral vision the two officers coming in the store. And on the video, you can see the suspect all of a sudden divert his attention from the manager that's on the ground in front of him on his knees to the two police officers, and immediately the manager saw his attention was diverted and got up and ran. The suspect got up and ran as well. They both ran down parallel aisles in the north towards the store. Thankfully, the manager was able to escape. We're not sure which door at this point he went out of, but the suspect stopped in the aisle for a little while. He did some things with his gun that at this point we can't really tell what it was. We know at that time he also brandished a long hunting knife and his gun. He walked around the end cap of the store and down another aisle as the officers entered the store and strategically tried to clear all the individual aisles as they were walking towards the last place that he would have been seen. As they entered the last aisle where the suspect was at, they met within probably 10 or 15 feet of each other, is my best estimate or guess. And it was at that time that the shots were fired with Elkhart City Police Department, and the suspect was killed. There's no doubt in my mind that two things happened tonight. The bravery and the quick response of the Elkhart City Police Department saved lives. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind that there's a couple employees that work for Martin Supermarket that I watched on the video footage that waited to get out of the store, that helped some of the people get out of the store and kind of corralled them and pushed them out of the store. So there's good stories even to come out of bad stories. And I think that's one thing that we need to try to bring out from what happened here tonight.